Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my updated Blackwing deck. Now, a few people requested me to do Blackwing, so I decided to redo them with some of the new stuff that they have, and they do have a lot of other new stuff coming. There's a lot going on with this deck in terms of new cards, in terms of ban lists. A lot of things have been changing, so I will talk about how that's going to go, but just keep that in mind that this deck is going to evolve a lot over the next few months, especially with the new cards that are going to be coming out, which I will talk about. Blackwings are really just a swarming, synchroing deck. They do both of that very, very well. They gain a lot of advantage, and they can be a very, very fast deck in terms of swarming and getting out things. And that's, going to be the main idea behind the profile, is just those cards that are going to give you continual advantage in summoning. To start things off, we're going to be running one Blizzard. So Blizzard, you could run it two, one or two. It's up to you. Depends on your tuners, depending on what you're doing. Just a free way to get out level 6 synchros. Just very nice for you. Then 3 Bora, pretty staple at 3 because you can easily make XYZ plays, do some additional piercing battle damage, just get additional swarming on the field easily. And then 3 Gale, off the ban list now we are able to use this card, which is very powerful because its effect is permanent, most likely, so can be very, very powerful. Additional swarming, additional ways to get out synchros very quickly. We're also running 3 Kalut, just like those other battle advantage cards like Honest, the Battling Boxer one, the Crane for Boojins, any of those cards. It's just that battle advantage card, but this is also very easy to search out with this deck, so you definitely want to run it at 3. We're also running 1 Orochi. Orochi is definitely debatable, but I really like Orochi just at 1, just to give you some easy swarming to make certain plays. You can do a lot of really easy things off this card, so I do like it a lot. I actually do like it better than Vayu, which I will talk about a little bit. We're also running 3 Shura, again pretty much staple with this deck, kind of like Flameful Fire Dog, giving you additional swarming advantage when you destroy by battle. Very, very nice for this deck that you can easily swarm out what you want. Then we're also running 2 Sirocco. Sirocco is a really interesting card that is easy to get out, gives you additional plays with your swarming. You could do additional synchro plays, get out level 8s very easy, has some ability with Vayu, so it's just a really great card overall. Pretty normal to run this at 1 or 2 depending on what you're doing in terms of tuners. And then we're running 1 Steam. Steam is just a pretty useful one to make very specific plays. Really nice consistency card. You can easily make Leo off this in 1 turn. So just, again, you can make plays pretty easily. Can allow you a lot of really interesting synchro stuff. So I do like this card a lot. Usually only want to run it at 1 because of his effect. And then 1 Vayu. Vayu I'm not as big of a fan of, but I still think it's pretty useful, nice to have. You can definitely cut it if you want to. It's just kind of a debate I'm, kind of having with myself. But for now, we're going to have him in here, and we might see him getting more play with some of the new stuff that'll be coming out with Blackwings. And then 1 Zephyros, because of his effect, obviously you only want to run 1, but again, an additional swarming card that can help you out a lot. For the spell support, 1 Allure of Darkness, very important to get the next card as quickly as possible. Black Whirlwind, easily staple to run this at 3. Huge advantage card, allowing you to get whatever you want. Very nice. 2 MST, 2 Pot of Duality. Even though we special summon a lot, we still need Pot of Duality because we want consistency to get something like Black Whirlwind, which is a very big card for us. And then 1 Raigeki and Snatch Steal, obviously 2 very powerful cards that we have access to. Snatch Steal, not obviously a super essential card, but I still think it's really nice to have in this type of deck where you can make easy synchro plays off whatever your opponent has because of your variety of levels. For the back row, 1 Black Sonic. You don't want to run this at too much because of the thing where you need to have a Blackwing out, which you won't always have, but I do like having 1 of this just in case, just to blow away your opponent. 1 Bottomless, Compulsory, Dimensional Prison. Again, it versus Black Sonic is kind of a debate depending on what you want to do. I still think you really got to consider whether you're going to have a Blackwing out all the time. 2 Fiendish, 3 Icarus. You can run this at 2. It's usually staple at 3 because of the easy advantage you have from having Blackwings out all the time, so I would like to run it at 3. 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Torrential. Just those staples you'd expect to see. So now for the extra deck, obviously going to have a ton of synchros and a few XYZs to back them up. Level 5s is very easy for us because of Oroshi and because of, some of the other things we do have access to. So I do like having Catastor and Armades here in case you can choose between one of them if you want. Beelze, obviously with this deck type, pretty easy to summon. Black Rose, 1 Arm Wing. You can run 2 of this, but I think 1 is enough. Blackwing Armor Master. Again, you can run 2 of this, but I do think 1 is enough. 1 Goyo Guardian. This is another card you could run at 2 now with the new ban list, so it's up for debate. I do like having access to other things that I might want to bring out in case. It's really debatable. 6s is something you can really easily make with this deck, and it depends on your tuners, depends on what you're trying to do, it depends on how many blizzards you run and a bunch of other stuff. So it's really dependent on your deck type and what you're going for. And then we're running 1 Leo. Obviously, we can easily make him with Steam. 1 Scrap Dragon. We're also running 1 Yazi, which is another card that you can easily make with this deck, and a nice protection card. Just could give you some nice field presence that because he cannot be targeted by those card effects, so can be pretty useful. For the XYZs, just rank 4s that we can get out really easily with this deck. This deck can make rank 4s like crazy. So Castel, Axiton, Xeraphine, Sanon, or Master Key. Master Key is nice because it protects Black Whirlwind, so it allows us to keep that advantage up as long as possible. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, in the side deck I like to talk about other ideas that could be useful for the deck, just other things I'm throwing out there that I might, exchange, or, just random things I'm thinking about. I do want to mention the OCG cards that are coming. I'm not going to really talk about them, but there are a few that are looking really nice for this deck. There's Chris, Panaka, Nothing, and the Tamer. They're all really interesting, and they will really change the deck's dynamic. I feel like people who like this deck type should look into these cards just to see what's coming. We won't be getting them for a few months, but until then, keep an eye on these cards. They will completely change how this deck is going to work out. You could also run Forbidden Lance. Soul Charge, I feel like Soul Charge is not necessary for this deck type. Upstart Goblin, if you want to search out Black Whirlwind or thin the deck, a little bit faster, you can do that. Delta Crow is a good card. It's just situational and can be very powerful. It's really tough. I decided not to run it in this deck, but you can easily run, 1 of this if you do want. This deck can actually easily main Skill Drain and Vanity's Emptiness if you want to go for a more anti-meta version. Wiretap you can easily run. I didn't have room for it. I didn't have room for a lot of cards I wanted to put in this deck, but you can easily run something like Wiretap. There's a huge variety of other synchros you could run. I feel like Silverwind is just not that great, so I don't think there's really a need to run it. Star Eater you can easily make in this deck, so there's not really a reason not to put it in the deck. It's just, I didn't have room for it, but if you want, you can put it in the deck along with, whatever synchros you want. There's, again, a huge variety of other XYZs you could run. Diamond Wolf would probably be my second best choice to put in the deck. There's also another OCG one, Raid Raptors for Strix, which will search out one of your Blackwings, so that could be pretty nice for this deck type. Might not be very essential because of Black Whirlwind, but can still be pretty useful, to search things out. Obviously gains the benefit from those winged base cards. So that's my Blackwing deck, just an update to a deck I've had for a long time. I always have a lot of fun with this deck type, even though it's not, as strong as people want for it, but I really feel like with the new cards that are coming, it's going to be really fun and really strong. So just keep an eye on those new cards, keep having fun with Blackwings, and I will continue to do the same as well. I'll try to record some duels with this, maybe tomorrow or over the weekend, so I can kind of show some players how it works. But if you guys do have your own Blackwing deck, if you have any tips for me, you can definitely post below. Let me know in the comments. You could talk about the cards you're running in your Blackwing deck. So let me know. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.